All right, we're on air. Expedition to Castle Ravenloft, episode 17. Expedition in the 13th Age. I totally missed that. That's how out of practice we are after 2 months. We almost have a full boat tonight. We're just missing John. We have a new player. Player number 5 is going to be Matt. Matt used to play Iceman, spelled with a 1. When I was running my Marvel Age of Apocalypse game, and I'm thrilled that he said he was going to have the time. He's working on his character right now, so he's going to be quiet to start, but once we got him up to speed and chat and everything, we'll work him in. Best of my recollection and some very hasty YouTube skimming, over the last 2 sessions, you guys captured the head of the cultists in town, revealing him to be the the butler for the burgomaster, who's of course dead. So now the butler for Irina, who's kind of taken over running the town. You guys interrogated him, and he gave you a pretty solid info dump on what the situation is with the Fanes, which are mystical spots in Barovia that of great power that Strahd seems to have co-opted for his own uses. And when he did so, he corrupted also the priestesses who lived there at each fane, turning them into hags. Those priestesses were in fact sisters, so the hags are sisters. And you have already killed one and taken the mountain fane, which is bonded to Ember. You suspect that Madame Ava is the second one, given her size and massive ugliness, and she would be in charge of the Forest Fane, if that is true. And then there is the third sister in the Lost Temple that is sunk beneath the swamp, and that is the one that you are going to be heading off to very shortly. In order to attacking and interrogating the butler earned you no favors with Irina, who was kind of sick of your bull for some time now. And so before you guys decided to head out, you spent some time training up some of the locals to better deal with clearing out the houses that all the undead are trapped in as leftovers from the zombie apocalypse that we started with early in the campaign. Did I miss anything significant, do you think, guys?
I don't think so. I think it's a pretty good general gist of what's been going on.
All right. So Kenthis, I believe, is going to be, we'll say he's studying something and he's not going to be heading out. He's going to catch up with you later on. Or maybe he'll always be with you and then we'll just work him back in. But I don't have his character sheet, so I don't have any version of him to kind of run with. So it's just going to be the 3 of you for when Matt gets caught up. Did you have anything that you wanted to revisit before leaving town?
I don't think so. I think we've burned enough bridges, literally and figuratively.
Well, I mean,
actually, bridges are probably the only thing you haven't burned.
We could.
Sorry.
It's a possibility.
Yes,
There was a bridge over by the castle. I know we've left more or less intact.
That one's made of stone. That's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, I think the only thing we were going to do before we left town is possibly purchase some poison resistance things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, poultices and poison and disease resists stuff. I forgot about that entirely.
Because we are all quite aware of the hazards of swamps, the various snakes and frogs and
bullywugs.
Yeah, and swamps don't burn that well, so.
No, they don't.
Everything burns if you get it hot enough.
I have confidence in our ability. Let's.
Well, let's see. Another thing I decided, since 13th Age really doesn't have official equipment with cost list, I just dug out my D&D 5e book, and we'll just use the prices out of there. You guys don't earn that much, as much gold as D&D characters do, but given how rarely you actually need to buy things, I don't think it's a problem. So the other option is we can improvise some sort of wealth check. Whether you actually have enough or not. But I think that this is probably going to do well enough. So I'm thinking that we can just go with a healer's kit, which is about 5 gold. It'll contain everything that you guys need if you have experience to treat disease and poison. Antitoxin straight out is 50 gold piece a vial. But I think you guys got plenty of money to stock up on those. There's nothing really about the nothing really for curing disease. That's just going to have to be a skill check. But you can get some basic herbs for that.
Yeah, we can at least put at least hopefully halt the spread or whatever with some healing checks.
All right. So go ahead and just mark off your gold for any antitoxin that you wanted to do. Any other things? I think you guys mentioned poles. Those are 5 copper a piece for a 10-foot pole.
How much gold do we have?
We've really been doing it stupid loose. I think that we decided that if nothing else, we could say that you had the full amount of gold for your level, which would be, it was going to be a few hundred each. Grab the right book. I don't even need a book. I've got a printed reference. Or not. Ooh! Resistance potions are listed in the printed reference. 200 gold for champion and 100 gold for adventurer. And they do the same thing, so it's just based on your level. Ooh. I think I'm just going to stick with my original thing, which is the D&D. Okay, so 6th level PCs, 325 per character. You've leveled up, and that's per heal up. So you guys have healed up several times, and you guys haven't really spent any money, so you guys can probably have 1,000 each.
In theory, you're supposed to have 4 heal ups every level.
In theory. I've been accelerating that track a little bit. Anything else you guys wanted to price on or to know on availability?
I don't think so. Were we going to get some rope, or did we mention that already?
Rope. 1 gold for 50 feet or 10 gold for silk. Silk, however, here is going to be extremely rare, so I'd say 3 times the price on silk.
So I don't think we need
for
silk.
50 feet.
No, I don't think so either.
The main advantage there, I think, is encumbrance, which we're not tracking, so...
Yeah, we don't have much equipment, so we don't have much ancillary equipment. So I think, and we're all pretty beefy except for Kenthis. So
yeah, basically, I'd say if it's under 50 gold, we can just say that you have it. Just not excessive quantities. Like you might have 1 lantern among you, that sort of thing.
Right.
But if it's going to be 50 gold or more, that's something that we would want to take some time out, I think.
Yeah.
We don't want to get too much bookkeeping here. So let's say if you wanted a boat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about. Since we are going to a swamp, it would be nice.
Yeah, we kind of need something like that. Actually, we might need
instead of the muck.
Well, nobody really goes down the swamp, so they're not really prepared with equipment to traverse it. And since the river doesn't really go anywhere in Ravenloft, they're not really big on boats. There's a couple down of rafts that they use for just general fishing and recreational value, but they're not really big on that kind of thing. I'd say a raft would probably cost you about. Wow, I'll just look at the prices of a few things. And the boat is not in here, so I'm just going to say around 20 gold for a raft. Just for the time it takes to chop down trees, get them down to size, lash them together. You want to do it yourself, it'd take a few days.
You guys think we'll need a raft? I mean,
Yeah.
do we know how wet this swamp is?
Yeah, it's got lots of little. It's kind of like Delta. A lot of little land masses that are of questionable firmness, and the water can be anywhere from 2 inches to over your head.
Okay, yeah, then we probably need a raft. I think we're fine with paying 20 gold for it.
Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Okay, and that should pretty much cover everything.
So yeah, let's add up what we're getting so we're not duplicating. So we should have some rope. Heinrich's going to get the healer's kit.
You probably have poles just by virtue of pulling the raft around to move it.
Yeah.
Couple
So
of
that
things
kind
in antitoxin.
Yeah, the antitoxin is something you want to track because that's going to be 50. The healing herbs and the rope and poles are all well within your means that I'm not even worried about tracking it.
I'll get 2 antitoxins.
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should all get a couple of them, so we're not spread too thin.
I'll be tucked in as well.
Alright. So, let me get the map here. You guys are writing stuff down. So Bryant has shared before with everybody, except Matt doesn't have one on hand yet, a map of the general area. So, Matt, I'm going to hold this up briefly, and please forgive the poor lighting. So this area here is Barovia where you are. And you're going to cross the field, or take the road up to the bridge area, and take a raft all the way down here into the swamps where you guys hope to find the hidden temple. And then that's going to be our thing tonight, where we're all going to be adventuring down there. Oh, alright. Matt's been building his character while we talk and get things moving. And so he just put some stuff in our chat right now. He's going to be playing a commander. Each of my family are the finest arcane warriors. He can also has a background in observing and extrapolating from incomplete data. So kind of like a detective background. And like, what? Fists are persuasive? Oh no, fists are persuasive! There we go. And then some sort of animal training background as well. Yeah, you got the right idea. That'll work. Now you just got to pick one unique thing and start working on your class features. Alright. So.
And hopefully that link works for the map.
Yeah, it does.
Everybody clicked on strange links without vetting first. I am so ashamed of you guys.
I trust Bryant.
It does start with BoardGameGeek.com, so.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot about that, Matt. Already, see? And all right. So, does anybody have any kind of background with boats?
Not
Absolutely
really.
not.
I knew that.
Bryant, I love your questions. Is it flammable?
Yes. What is the golem's name, and is it flammable?
Yes, we are multitasking tonight.
Is it made of cotton?
Is it made of clay? And if we put enough fire around it, does that become a porcelain golem or a not porcelain? What am I thinking of? What can clay become if it's fired?
Brick?
Well, it's
Ceramic.
built like a brick. We're gonna have fun with that later. All right. Well, I'm afraid because none of you have any experience whatsoever with rafts, there are going to be times when I'm going to ask you for checks. Possibly.
Makes sense.
Alright. When moving into the swamp, the river slows down dramatically as the land flattens out and the river broadens to a point where you have all these tiny little islands, and just the rush of water is diffused over the flat land and forming the marsh. The marsh is a freshwater marsh and in the distance you see the wall of fog that seems to encase this entire valley, the fog that you came in through and presumably cannot leave through, although you guys haven't really tried that. But that seems to be on the far end of the swamp, but it could be no more than a day's journey. Who knows? You don't have any experience traversing swamps, you can't really tell. But that looks about right if you were on foot. So, we're going to do, I think, a montage. And I need somebody to name for me something unusual about the swamp that might provide a unique opportunity.
Unique opportunity.
Do I have to name names?
I'm thinking.
Something about the swamp that would provide a unique opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
As in, like a danger that can
For
provide an opportunity?
danger, admittment? Like, what sort of opportunity?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Okay. Well, then let's just start with a danger. Somebody provided danger with a swamp. What are you most afraid of happening? Let's bugs.
Lots of bugs. Big bugs.
Dog-sized mosquitoes.
Yes. A.k.a. sturges.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, you just happened to name an encounter I had planned, so
I'm sorry.
I guess we're just going to go straight ahead to that. All right. So you're pulling through the swamp, just kind of keeping that wall in front of you and moving towards it because you don't have any other markers to really go by. But in the distance, you see what looks like the ruins of a tower poking up through the trees. And so you start changing course to go towards that, one assumes.
Yep.
And a large stretch of water blocks your path, or it would if you weren't on a raft. And there's a cloud of buzzing insects in your way.
And they look big.
No, actually, they just Think midge water. More midges than water.
Okay.
There's just a lot of them.
Well, I don't know if there's any way around this, so maybe we can just kind of wrap as much of exposed skin in cloth and kind of go through.
All right, so you're going to wrap up and hope that that provides you some protection from the bugs.
That's my suggestion. I don't know if anybody else has anything else.
I'm gonna eat a lot of garlic because garlic sweats scare away mosquitoes. So I'm gonna hope.
Did you get that from Kenthis? That sounds like a Kenthis thing.
I actually think that that's probably. I don't know.
Yeah, that might have been a Kenthis thing.
Our stench mage.
If we had Kenthis here, he could be like blasting them from afar with his like lightning stuff. But
Actually, the garlic was Madame Eve's secret cure for curing Kenthis of the ghoul stench.
There you go. So we had some on hand.
My solution is to light Kenthis on fire and let the smoke drive everything away. He's not here to defend himself, so...
Alright, so does that sound like a course of action you might want to try? The garlic or the...
why not both?
Why not both?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cover up as much as possible.
Yeah, I think both. Let's do a little bit of each.
Alright, so... you guys cover up, and sure, what the hell, chomping on garlic as you go. And as you approach the open water, that's think of meadow, but large, flat water, and it kind of opens up in front of you, and where you're going to have this big stretch before you hit more land. But all of a sudden, you see that there's a huge vegetable mass close underneath that that you could possibly brush up on with your raft. And surrounding you on all sides, and right now you're kind of like in the middle of that swarm of bugs. And no matter how carefully you cover it up, I mean, they still get around your eyes and a little bit around your hands because you probably don't have proper gloves, although the fighters might. Actually.
Yeah.
And they just kind of get in through the cracks, but it's unpleasant, but it's not terrible. And then make a boating check, somebody.
Alright, who wants to drive first?
Sure, I will. And this is, let's see, do we want to do dexterity, strength?
Well,
See if I can
that's up
wrestle
to
it.
you. Are you going to try and power over it? Are you going to try and deflect it at the last minute to get around?
I
delicate operation?
think Ember is definitely of the power over it and hope for the best. Let's see here. I really don't think I have any backgrounds that would have any sort of assistance here. So
Yeah, I kind of checked before we started. I'm pretty sure you're right.
So 13 plus. Do we get the plus for the level?
You do get the plus per level, but because you don't have a background, you don't actually get a background bonus.
Right. So 13 plus 6 for the level, plus 4 for strength. So that's 23.
Okay. 23 is enough.
So hold on, guys, and I start like we first raft ever to have a wake.
All right. So you you just decide, rather than running aground, you're going to pour it on. And so you really put your back into it, and you grab the other pole off of somebody else, and you like reach out on both sides and go like skiing.
Yeah, these effing bugs.
And the effort opens up chinks in your cloth armor, allowing the bugs to settle in. And so the bugs are going to get a free shot at you. $17 against your physical defense.
That is a miss.
All right. So you don't even feel the effects as you power through because you're just sweating hard.
Effing bugs! God damn!
They splatter up against his armor, I think is the better way to do it.
The poles sink into the vegetative mass and give you really good traction for you to move forward. And you hear the scraping as you go over it. You just power right over this thing. And and then I'm going to ask you to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Because the thing you went over was alive.
Briefly.
It's going to take damage as a result of you running into it. It's only fair.
What is the damage for an at speed? I guess a quarterstaff damage. Tonk. Ooh, that's a good initiative.
Ramming speed.
Exactly.
I rolled the exact same fucking thing on 2 dice for initiative. Nice.
Oh, man. Okay, so
Jesus Christ, people.
let's see. Heinrich, what's your initiative? Pierce? Looking at you, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's glitching on me, video and sound. I got a
Oh.
28.
28?
Mhm.
Raghnar.
19.
You'll get there
And-
someday.
Ember.
26.
I rolled perfectly average. I rolled 11 on 2d20. Both of them were 11.
So, the order is Heinrich, Ember, Monster B, Raghnar, then Monster B, then Monster A. Alright. Doable. Heinrich, as Ember puts in his massive effort and clears the vegetative mass, as he pulls out his pole that was last in the mass, you notice that there's a tendril of vines rolling up the pole and getting ready to yank him off balance.
Believe it or not, I'm not going to be incredibly overzealous and take my sword to the pole that is guiding us through the swamp. Heinrich thinks about it for a second, but instead decides to blast it with a javelin of faith. He has faith that that's probably a better idea.
Alright, so you aiming at the tentacle, or are you going to follow it back and try and blast whatever's in the water?
Aim at the tentacle right at this moment until I can see whatever it is.
Alright. Take a whack.
All right. Oof. Oof. That's a 14 versus probably
No.
first
That's
full defense.
PD.
No, 14's not going to do it.
Okay.
Stop
been
emulating
zealous.
Kenthis.
Should have hit it with a sword.
Yeah, probably should have.
On a miss, it does take 7 damage though.
Seven damage? Alright. So you scorch it, and it kind of lets go and slithers back in. Ember.
Okay.
Before we do your actual action, I'd like you to roll damage for the boat scraping over the vegetable mass. I think we'll go with D6s.
Okay, how many you need?
Well, we're just going to do it like a regular weapon attack. So let's say 66 because of your level, plus twice your strength modifier because of the level.
Okay.
And you will do half damage on a miss because you obviously didn't.
I'm rolling.
Oh, no, that's right. You're not rolling attack. You're just going to...
Okay. 8, 17, 26 plus 8, 34
34?
for 66 plus 8.
You got it. There's your bonus for the high... that and not getting stuck are your bonuses for your high roll. Alright, now you get an action.
Alright, I'm going to bash the mass. I probably got a little bit unstable when we went over it and it grabbed things, so I'm going to kind of reach down, get on one knee and reach down and just bash it with my hammer, with my war hammer, and just right in the middle is right around the thing, so right around the raft. In the most massiest part I can reach comfortably.
Okay. There you go then. Make your attack roll.
Okay, that is a... That is a 20 versus AC.
That is a miss. What was the natural die roll on that?
It was a 10.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 22. 22.
You missed by 1.
Okay.
Well, let's call it flat-footed since you're technically acting before it does, so why don't you take the hit? Where is... Go ahead and roll. I'm just going to walk away from the camera for a second.
1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to do a... we're going to do a deadly assault, which means I re-roll in 1s or 2s for my damage.
Alright.
Thank God, because there's 3 1s. Now it's a 7, a 4, and a 1. Okay. Let's see here. That is... 15.
Oh, there it is.
35.
Thought I lost my escalation die. That thing's too massive to lose.
43 damage.
Last time I give you something for free. Alright. Raghnar.
Alright. First thing I do is after throwing my weapon, is I call forth Holy Flame to engulf the blade, and then I will stab the ever-living crap out of it.
I hope you roll like Kenthis.
We are on top of this. Maybe not set it on fire. I don't know.
So let's see. Alright. Plus 12. I'm getting really good at rolling 11s. What can I say?
There you go.
23 versus AC.
That's a hit.
Alright. That's natural 11. Natural odd hits.
Oh, that's right. You get the triggered attacks.
Do I have anything that'll do? Oh, fuck. Did we just carve it opening?
So,
Yeah,
Matt, while
probably.
he's looking, Matt, a lot of martial classes have triggered attacks where they roll for a basic attack, but based on what they roll, they sometimes get to trigger an ability. And depending on how people lay out their character sheet, they may or may not have all the triggers and stuff listed.
Alright, so I'm just carving an opening, so my crit range will go up to 18.
Alright.
Until I get toward the end of battle. And it's 60, 10 plus 18. Ooh, that's a nice roll. 29, 30, 41. That's 56. 57 damage.
Wow.
Fire and holy, if it makes a difference.
Well, yeah, since it's submerged. Alright. It is staggered. Yet despite that... Oh, nope, Monster B first. Alright, so all this activity is really disturbing those bugs, and more of them raise up from the water, and the swarm gets so thick that it's actually kind of hard to see more than a couple of feet. And with all the physical activity, you guys are causing more gaps in your clothing that allow the bugs in, and they start biting everything that they can find. So each person is going to have a die roll against them as the swarm attacks. We will start with Heinrich. 18 against physical defense.
Miss.
All right, Ember. That's even worse. 17.
That is a miss.
And Raghnar, 24.
Yes.
Okay. 5 damage.
Okay.
And a cumulative -1 to your check to rally until your next rest.
That's kind of irritating.
Hmm?
I said that's kind of irritating.
Yep. Well, that's why I said cumulative. Just to make sure you understood. I really didn't have anything. I've got the standard swarm language on this, but I'm treating them still as mooks. It's just that because they're bugs, it does make it a little tough to hit them and diminish the swarm. Basically, you're going to need area attacks, which without Kenthis you don't really have. But you guys are creative. And Monster A. The mass of vegetation rises out of the swamp. And it has not even a vaguely humanoid shape. It's like this mossy, leafy mass just kind of rises up a few feet out of the swamp, and these thick... Yes, kind of like that. My wife mentions the trash heap from Fraggle Rock.
Is it
Except this one doesn't talk, and it doesn't even really have a face, but it does have thick vines that are entwined that lash out, and they try to attack people. So, we have... Oh, of course, I get stuck in the dice tower. Alright. The first one lashes out at Heinrich. 28 against physical defense.
That will hit.
Second one against Ember, which is 21 against physical defense.
That is barely a hit, but it is a hit.
And one against the raft, which was a 15. How
That
should
raft
we
is really agile.
How should we handle the defense for the raft? I don't think that I've seen anything in 13th Age that really handles this. Maybe instead of damaging the raft, it will cause you guys to make checks to hold your balance and not fall in.
That's probably a better way to do it.
All right.
I would assign it hit points, and then when when it takes either a critical hit or it gets staggered, everybody has to make a check to see if they keep their balance.
All right. Makes sense.
Because that's how I'm doing mounted combat in the roles that I'm doing.
So
Roughly.
I would say that. See, here I am thinking of missing dice again, and I'm not. All right. I'd say that maybe, even though the construction isn't like big craftsmanship, this is a pretty sturdy thing. I mean, rafts are fairly simple put together. I don't know, 50? Do we have a guideline for objects and such?
I do more. I treat it like a large creature, basically.
All right. So
like
we can just go
like
to
a level 4 large creature. So about 100 hit points.
to the table. Level 4, 108.
Can you tell I do this a lot?
So we'll say 100. Excellent. And we said we weren't. We'll just use the defenses too. The lowest defense out of all of them.
Yeah, that's probably best.
All right. 14, and that is exactly one less than what it took to hit it. All right. So everybody who was hit takes 50 points of damage.
Oh!
Whew.
Ouch!
Whew.
All
right.
And sadly, out of all of them, let's see. Did I say 28 for a total anywhere there?
No,
I think that's what
mine was-
that's what you rolled to hit me.
Okay, I knew I had something that triggered the grab, but I couldn't remember it.
Oh, good.
Yes, you were also grabbed.
All right.
Fortunately, this reduces the number of attacks you can make. Unfortunately, there's some other things that will happen as the round goes on. Yeah,
Okay.
this is my version of a shambling mound, a 7th level wrecker, and it is large, I believe. So I split up the damage as much as I could. All right, back to the front, Heinrich.
Heinrich's trying not to freak out.
You are grabbed, sir.
Uh,
Did I make this large? Yes, I did.
all right. Well, while I am
Ooh, did I do this wrong?
okay, as a quick action, I'm going to very quickly bless myself, Raghnar, and Ember. Oh, we are all blessed, which means that we get +1 to attack until the end of the battle, and 2d10 temporary hit points.
Gentlemen, I'm looking at the chart here, and I think I may have really poorly calculated what the damage ought to be on that. So I'm going to say make that 30 damage apiece, not 50. I'm sorry. Playtesting stuff is rough.
All right.
So I'm sorry. What did we get from that, Pierce?
Yeah.
I just cut the hit points.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I'm blessing us as a quick action. So we all get a +1 to attack until the end of the battle, and everybody gets plus 2d10 temporary hit points.
Okay. And the escalation die is at 1, by the way.
Yes, it is now. 1. And I forgot to put Pierce in focus for his turn. You going to do anything else, Pierce, besides...
Yeah, that was just also going to now uh, frantically and crazily swing my sword at this shambling mound creature.
Okay. So, are you going to try and swing it at the main mass, or are you going to try and cut yourself free of the grab?
I think
How
I'm
does
gonna
this
cut. I think I'm gonna cut myself free of the grab, just so it doesn't drag me into the swamp and drown me.
Okay. Um. All right. Go ahead.
Does a 30 hit versus AC?
Yes. You
Okay.
need a 23 against AC or physical defense.
Okay. Well, I am also going to. It does 41 points of damage, and I'm also going to use my strength domain invocation that allows me to, for free once per battle, do an additional 4 damage. So 41 plus.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right there that you can hold off on that.
Okay.
And the reason why is I've been basing the hit points of the tentacles on the amount of damage that they deal.
Okay.
And so if you attack the tentacle, you can only deal that much total to the thing. It doesn't carry over to the main amount. That's what I was doing. If
Okay.
you're attacking the main mass, so I don't want you to use up your once pers. So your base
Okay.
damage was what, 20?
41.
41?
Yeah.
All right. Because they deal 30 on a hit, the main mass takes 30 and it loses its tentacle till it can grow a new one.
Okay.
All right. And I did say it was staggered, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, escalation die. Matt, the escalation die goes up after every round of combat, and it adds to all your attack rolls, and then there's some abilities that trigger on the value of the escalation die. It can only go up to 6, and we almost never get past 3. Combats are usually pretty short.
Got it.
Short and very violent.
Yes, we usually do and take a lot of damage.
And I end up revising some stuff down because sometimes I overbuild. But, so some of the stuff is definitely playtest state.
Okay. Good to know.
And that looks pretty good as a start for your character sheet. You understood the armor class thing pretty well?
Yeah, so that's what they have to roll over to hit me?
Equal or exceed, but I'm talking about when you look at the bottom of the chart for the character class, there's a table that says what your base armor class is, but then also when you look underneath the big table that has all of your abilities for the 10 levels and stuff, you get an ability score modifier, but it's the middle of 3 different modifiers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any trouble with that, just let us know in chat.
Okay.
Alright. And you'll have the 3 defenses to set up. Heinrich, you clearly cut yourself free. The tentacle goes flopping away. And then Ember.
Okay, seeing that Heinrich is free, I'm going to take a whack at the center mass
Okay.
with my hammer.
A lot easier to hit now that it's not below the water.
Not with a 3.
Oh god, no.
Ends up being a, with the bless and the escalation die, a 17 versus AC.
Oh god, no, you missed. But you do damage and a miss, right?
Yes.
Plus you can carve an opening too.
Yeah, I do 6. I do 6 damage, and this thing is attacking physical damage, correct? Physical defense, correct?
Yes. It doesn't care about your armor, it's just slamming you around.
Okay, then I will do. Actually, you know what? I am going to brace for it. I'm gonna brace for it, which means until the end of my next turn, the first critical I take becomes a normal hit. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
I missed, but I'm gonna steady myself on the raft, going, oh, whoa, 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 and
All right.
balance away.
Sounds like a plan. Ragnar.
All right, I'm gonna swing at center mass. I think. Again.
All right.
So that's 7. That would be 29 versus AC.
That is a hit.
Okay, that was a natural even hit. I think I'm just going to... Yeah, I'll just use Deadly Assault. Because Deadly Assault is better.
Yeah, there aren't many even hit things.
I'm sorry, my that was 25 versus AC, not 29.
That's fine. You're
Okay.
23.
Alright, I read the wrong thing. So, reroll YouTube. My dice are really weird today. I rolled 60-10 and rolled 6 6s.
Wow.
What?
So
What altar did you pray at before game today?
I'm rolling 11s for the most part on d20s and 6s on d10s apparently. So I prayed at the altar of average dice rolls, I think, more or less. So that's 36, 51. Yeah, 51 damage.
Ouch. All right. So you hack away at this thing, and little bits and pieces of it are starting to flow away. It's definitely losing its cohesion, and the pieces that float away are inexplicably twisting and writhing and moving around as though, even though you're hacking pieces off of this thing violently, those pieces are still alive. And since there's nothing even remotely resembling blood, for all you know, you're helping this thing reproduce. I wouldn't want to come back here next season if I were you.
I'm just going to wait till the dry season and burn the whole swamp.
It's
Everything
swamp. I don't know
burns.
if it has one.
And then I will flip it to bird and then pee on the ashes.
I highly doubt it, but is anybody staggered?
No.
Alright. So we have no nearby staggered creatures with blood. So much for that attack. Bugs swarm everybody en masse, but not actually en masse because, like I said, that ability's not going to trigger. Heinrich, 23 against physical defense?
I didn't hear the number, I'm sorry.
23.
Yes, that hits.
And Ember, 15.
That is a miss.
And Ragnar, 26.
Yes.
Alright, 5 hit points, and cumulative -1 to any check to rally before your next rest.
Burn the whole fucking swamp.
Build a dam, dry it up, burn it down.
Yes.
We would go to those lengths.
How long would it take us to build a dam?
Let's look at the map. Let's figure it out from an architectural standpoint.
All right.
The mound doesn't have much left to it, but it's going to lash out with its 2 remaining tentacles. It's not intelligent, so it's just kind of whipping out anything, and like I said, you're probably helping it reproduce, so what's it going to stop for? Let me see who it's swinging at with its 2. Oh, really? Really? Alright. Ember. Holy cow. It rolled a natural 19. It's got 31 to hit you.
Yeah, it hits. It's not a crit, though,
And
right?
the boat. 15 to hit the boat. 30 points. And Ember's grabbed. The boat, however, has now taken 60 points, is less than half. So everybody's going to make a check to maintain their balance and not fall into the drink.
I'm gonna do Winter Captain of Mercenaries. Actually, no, I'll do Core of Beacon. That's probably better. Plus Dex.
I don't really have any backgrounds that seem fitting, so I'm just gonna go for it and hope for the best.
I rolled
All right.
another 11. So that's a 21.
All
Is it
right.
21? Yes, 21. No, sorry, 20. I read that wrong.
Okay.
28.
And 28 for Bryant.
15.
And 15. With everything added in.
Yes.
Wow.
Yikes.
I don't have sea legs.
Okay.
Did you do the do we get one for the escalation die there?
Escalation die normally doesn't apply to skill checks, I think.
Okay,
No.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure of those rules.
There are occasionally talents and feats that'll let you use the escalation for skill checks, but generally no.
I did not use it in my calculation.
In any case, I think that it probably would only help you if you had some sort of background that would work here.
Right.
I can't see letting you have a bonus when if you're clearly unskilled. The problem is that being this is combat and a raft, I was kind of pegging this as 25 for the champion environment. So, for the two of you who didn't make it, you're both wearing metal armor, right?
Yeah.
You're in the drink. And when we come around to your turn, we will talk about what that means.
I think I do know what it means. I think that our joking about damming up the swamp and burning it to the ground, I don't think they're jokes anymore.
No. See, I've already figured where we can collapse the bridge up at Sarah Falls and go from there. So
Yeah.
I think this is a workable plan.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the map, we can actually collapse 2 bridges, and just really... Well, no, I mean, we want that freshwater pool, but we, Yeah, no,
Yeah, because those cliffs are pretty high up there. So if we collapse the bridge right at the falls, and then
Right.
collapse the cliffs right there, we're totally set.
okay. Yeah, I'm down.
There'll be Lake Sayre up north,
This
or,
one's gonna be a barren
or
wasteland.
west.
Flood the whole village of Barovia, and
No.
There's collateral damage.
It'll be fine.
We're protecting
well, at
them.
least it's a change from burning everything down.
There's high ground. We'll clear out the castle and they can move up there.
Top of the order. And now we are third round, so escalation die 2. And Heinrich falls in the water. And the water here is... let's see how deep this is. Tell you what, Heinrich, why don't you roll 2d6 and tell me how deep this is.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Roll low.
All right. 2 feet. No, hold on.
I trust you.
I got an 8.
All right. So it's 8 feet deep. So, you fall into the water, and what type of armor are you wearing?
I am wearing chainmail.
Yeah, I've got chain and leather.
All right. So, obviously, the water rushes in, and it's murky and dim, and your feet, you feel, hit the muddy floor and just kind of sink in. When you move your feet, they kind of suck at your boots, and you can see the raft just above you. And off to the side, within an arm's length, is that massive vegetation that you guys have been whacking on. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself. You said that this massive vegetation is staggered, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself. That means that foes with HP can't attack me until I attack or until the escalation die reaches 6 or better.
All right.
So, cast Sanctuary on myself, and also I'm just going to try to, as best as I can, kick to the surface.
Okay. So casting Sanctuary is fine. I'm going to say that you're going to need to make a skill check to get yourself free and swim up. Just make it one strength-based check rather than making it two.
Okay.
Keep everything nice and streamlined.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
Okay, Kenthis drowns. No. All right. I would say, make a last gasp save. What's that? Just a straight roll. Got to be 16 or better. Or is that
last
second?
gasp is 11 or higher.
Okay. Roll 20-sided die, 11 or better.
Of course, I get a nat 20 on that.
Okay. Well, you don't start drowning yet. Ember.
Okay.
You are grasped by the mound.
Now, how does that affect me?
Okay. At the beginning of the mound's next turn, it's going to constrict. And if you fail to disengage or disentangle you, it's going to start drowning you. It's going to pull you into the water.
Okay. But it looks like it's pretty well falling apart.
Oh, and Pierce, by the drowning rule that I wrote down here, as if the vine had held you, you're not drowning in the sense that you're dying, but you do still take some damage for being underwater. And I had written 20. But if that seems excessive, we can talk about it later. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and take it now, or?
Yeah, go ahead, take it now. Because
Okay.
you made a check. All right. Sorry, Bryant.
So I'm attacking the center mass because it seems like it's falling apart pretty quickly. And escalation die 2, so that's 28, 32 versus AC.
Yeah, you hit it.
And because it is staggered, I am going to use the crush feature of the Bone Crusher, which is my Warhammer.
Now, what does that do?
It lets me roll an additional 3d8 damage.
Okay.
So now I'm rolling...
It's got 38 hit points.
Okay, I am rolling 9d8 plus 10.
Yeah, you got it.
So we'll consider that
We'll
dead.
skip the math.
Yeah.
All right. So, basically, what happens in my mind here is that Ember, rather than waiting to be dragged in by the tentacle, just kind of throws himself into it with a hammer, overhead strike, and as hard as the hammer hits the center mass, it kind of gives and bounces back, and so he lands lightly on his feet as the
Meant to do that.
as the hammer bounces back over his head, and the constricting vines kind of float away. The mass shudders and ceases to move, and little pieces of it continue to drift off in all directions. And now you can recognize the twitching of the vegetation for what it is. These things are actually swimming away from each other.
Okay. Since these guys are in the water, I'm going to try and help them out as best I can.
Yeah. No checks are necessary. With you to assist, you can reach in with poles that they can grab and help them pull free from the muck and swim up on board. We could do the whole complications thing, roll to not be off balance when you pull them up, but it's not particularly interesting. We kind of started late tonight, so we're not doing a lot of other stuff. But the insects don't dissipate, so I would suggest that you pull the hell out of there and get the hints to the ruins.
That sounds
Now,
good.
we did start late, and the next thing is the main encounter.
Yeah, if you want to have the insects take an attack at me while I'm pulling these guys out, I'm fine with that.
No, that's fine. I hit 2 out of 3 of you with the issues with the rally, and there's no chance to rest here, so I'm cool with the setup so far. What you're going to see as you approach the ruins is this may have once been a temple, and only the front of the facade still remains standing. And even that mostly has fallen in. And so you see these large blocks of stone that used to incorporate the rest of the facade and the other 3 walls. And there's a suggestion that there may have been large columns at some point too. And a lot of these stones are submerged underneath the swamp, but some of them, slick with mold and slime, are sticking out in different places. You see what is probably the, apart from the ruins itself, the most overt sign of potential civilization or occupation in the swamp yet. You see a beaten path leading through the front of that facade into a broken stone floor that's very hazardous. You can't run over it. It's mismatched blocks by a couple of feet where the back half of the temple probably sank into the swamp years ago. And beyond that, in the area vicinity of the ruined temple, you see a large figure swimming around naked in the water, grasping at fish and trying to find its dinner. And that would be the last of the 3 hags. So I'm thinking that given our circumstances, we should probably call it quits for the night, and then when we start up in 2 weeks, you guys get to introduce yourself to the drowned lady, as she has been called. You never did catch if she had a proper name. And
Yeah, I think Paulo/Paul passed out at that point.
and from there, you can decide whether you're going to try and make this a social encounter, or if you're just going to try and take the Fane by force. I will tell you what you're up against in brief. She is a large 8th level monster, so she's going to be double strength. The damage is more moderate than what I did for the Shambling Mound, so I probably won't need to do a revision on this. Ooh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, a large, double strength 8 level. She's got some hit points.
Shouldn't that basically be treated as a huge creature?
Yeah, that's essentially what I did.
Yeah.
But I made the notation that way because she's not actually that size, and I didn't want to confuse anyone.
I just say triple strength.
Okay. All right. And that'll give you something to think on before we come through. How did the drowning thing sound? If a grabbed creature fails to an attempt to disengage, the shambling mound attempts to drown it. Target makes a last gasp save. If it succeeds, it takes 20 damage.
I don't like that. I
So-
really don't like going straight to last gasp saves. Because if somebody gets really unlucky, they've got a dead character in 3 turns. And that's pretty harsh. Damage is fine. Status effects would be fine. But I don't think you should go straight to last gasp saves.
All right, so just make it a regular save, maybe.
Yeah, I'd make it a regular save. Let them take damage. I think stuck or hampered would be, or even stunned would be a decent status effect for it. Maybe not stunned because then you're kind of fucked.
Well, at that point you're restricted and you're grabbed and underwater, so grab is already restricting your movement.
Yeah.
And you gotta defeat that before you come out. So I don't think necessarily putting on another status effect.
Yeah.
Alright.
But last gasp saves, I don't think that's a good idea. Because
Okay.
you have to, like I said, you have to consider what's the worst case scenario, what happens here. And you don't want to kill a character in 3 turns just because of bad rolls.
Okay. Alright. Done. Alright, so thanks for showing up. This is the first time in
Like 2 months.
2 months, so I expected things to be a little slow. And but if we can all meet again in 2 weeks, I think that we'll be back in fine form right quick. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's not going to be an easy negotiation if you guys are going to start with the talking. Just so you know, and that'll give you time to think on that too. After that, though, we're back into kind of roleplay mode as we play out the effects of what happened there and decide what you guys want to do next, and whatever interactions may come from that.
I don't know. We usually try to make an effort, horribly so, but we usually try to make an effort to talk.
I'm on board with trying to make an effort, at least initially, and then.
Yeah, if we have to go for the murder hobo route, yeah, I'm okay with that. But yeah, let's try to talk first.
I think as a group we think we're a lot smoother than we are.
No, I think we kind of realized that we're not very good at this whole talking thing, which is why we tend to resort to the punching or stabbing thing so quickly, is because we know it's not going anywhere.
But we're not monsters, so we know that we probably should try and talk.
Yeah.
You know, our therapist said one day, really, violence doesn't answer all questions. And
Well, that only applies if you're asking questions.
Yeah.
after we punched him in the face, we
well,
decided maybe he was right.
To
I
which half of us basically said, not if you're using enough violence.
Right, no. See, violence applied to the right areas gives you all of the answers you could ask for.
Yes,
Now,
I
you
forgot
see,
about
this
the
thing-
Inquisitor.
This is why I miss John playing Kenthis, because he kind of evens out your tendencies there. And
He
I'm
is the-
thinking that Matt's
He's
going
the
to do the
Monty
same
of our
little bit.
group. He's
Kenthis
the
is
Monty of our
usually
Captain Planet group.
Kenthis is usually less. He's more good cop, and the rest of us are trying for between bad cop, worst cop, and worst cop.
I think it was bad cop, worst cop, and murder cop.
Yes, murder cop. That's right.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that unfolds. So next week we'll try and get started on time. I know Pierce, your schedule just opened up a little bit, and I guess that's it. We'll see you in 2.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thanks everyone.
All right, take care.
And we